First News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to the Color 8 First News at 5. I'm Sarah Gravely. In just over an hour, the Billings Big Sky All-Stars hope to take their next big step in the Little League World Series. The first Montana team ever to reach the tournament will face the champs from California in the U.S. semifinal game, and we will be watching. Color 8's Katie Houston is in Williamsport and caught the team getting ready earlier today.
Hello from Williamsport, Color 8 News.
All right, and again, the game gets underway at 6 on ESPN. Chris will have the full highlights, and we'll hear more from Katie on the game's outcome tonight at 10. A former Billings child psychiatrist pleads guilty to possessing child pornography today. 49-year-old James Peak of Billings admitted in federal court that he owned child porn. He turned himself in February and went to a 3-month treatment program in Texas. Peak faces up to 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. He is set to be sentenced November 16th. Now on to fire season. 4 fires burning in eastern Montana now stretch over 20,000 acres. Lightning ignited 5 separate fires near Lame Deer over the weekend. 2 of them have since merged and the blazes remain uncontained. Most of the affected area lies within the Northern Cheyenne Reservation. Spokespeople with the Northern Rockies Coordination Center say no structures are currently threatened, but that could change.
What we've seen is variable winds, and so threatened right now.
Thompson says about 500 people will soon be fighting the fires. Mandatory evacuations along Jimtown Cut Across and Lynch Coulee roads have been lifted, and spokespeople say they are not aware of anyone who has voluntarily left their homes at this point. Now, the hole in the wall fire doubled in size overnight. The blaze north of Clark, Wyoming, near the Montana line, is about 2,000 acres now and 20% contained. Smoke can be seen from Red Lodge, as you see here. Crews took to the air this afternoon to fight the blaze with more fire. They dropped plastic fire starters into specially targeted areas to remove fuel from that fire. The plastic spheres, about the size of ping pong balls, are filled with ethylene glycol and ignite about 20 seconds after being dropped. That blaze is not threatening any structures at this time. And the Norton Point fire north of Du Bois is also growing. Hot temperatures and windy, dry conditions caused the blaze to grow about 900 acres yesterday to a total of 18,000 acres. Crews say the lightning ignited fire generated lots of smoke today. Rebels continue to celebrate today in Libya. Rebel forces stormed the compound of Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi yesterday and are proclaiming victory over the Gaddafi government. But the Gaddafi government and forces loyal to it say they will not back down. NBC's Richard Engel has the latest.
Tripoli.
All right, and closer to home, 15 additional counties and 1 reservation qualify for federal aid due to flooding today. Homeowners, renters, and business owners in these counties and the Fort Peck Indian Reservation can now apply for federal loans. Individuals must register before September 26th. You can do that by calling 1-800-621-FEMA or visiting color8.com and clicking on Connections. Well, if you spent any time outside this morning, you might have smelled something foul. Cenex refinery officials say a malfunction in Laurel is now under control. More sulfur dioxide was released than usual, leading to that smell. Communications Director Lonnie Jordan says the refinery has corrected the issue. The Environmental Protection Agency says overexposure to sulfur dioxide could lead to breathing problems, but health officials locally say health risks from that release are minor. And from the Carolinas through the Mid-Atlantic and into the eastern seaboard, communities tonight are preparing for Hurricane Irene. The massive storm is gaining strength as it moves towards the coast. The first effects will likely be felt here along North Carolina's Outer Banks, which you are looking at live now. Looks like people are not too concerned at the moment. NBC's Jay Gray has the latest on this Category 3 storm.
As Hills, North Carolina.
And forecasters say that storm, correct me if I'm wrong here, could reach a Category 4 or even 5 status before landfall. So people, I know that usually when we get our first hurricane, people start getting a little worried before they know how bad. But this one sounds like it really could be bad.
Yeah, it does look like it's going to be bad, and has a definite good chance of becoming a Category 4 hurricane at least. Looks like it'll probably go back down to a Category 3 before it hits around North Carolina and the Outer Banks and then continues to travel up the East Coast. But as of now, it is still a Category 3 hurricane.